Alright, so we're starting Utgard Pinnacle. Uh, this is video number 14 now, I think. Yeah, 14. Now, one thing that I didn't mention really in my Frostweave, Frostweave, the farming explanation videos for Utgard Pinnacle and all that fun stuff, is you don't even really need a character that's extremely well geared to effectively farm here. Like my warlock right here, I just have a bunch. I just threw crappy gems into crappy gear to farm this to farm here. Now I don't even have a good weapon or a good or a good wand. And if I had an epic staff, like if I actually took my time to get the epic honor staff, I would probably be able to clear this place like 4 to 5 minutes faster. Um, so that's something that you should just probably keep in mind. And if you actually take your time, like even if it's just honor gear, if you grind out a full set of honor gear, which now that 4.2 is out, it's all epic honor gear, and you get the epic honor weapons, you're going to be able to do this place a lot faster and a lot more effectively than I do. Also, that holds true for all the other instances that I'm farming during this guide. LBRS, my rogue has 2 blue weapons, and he also has a few greens. Botanica, my Death Knight, that's the only character that I'm farming with that actually has epic weapons. I just bought 2 Gurubashi Punishers from the auction house, and I just used them. But he's pretty much the only character with epic weapons, but he has a couple green pieces, and like none of his gear is enchanted or gemmed, because enchants and gems are all jacked up on my server right now. They're going for like insane prices, which I don't feel like paying 100 gold for a Bold Inferno Ruby right now. I'll just wait a few weeks until they're back down to 60 gold where they belong. So yeah, that's something you'll want to keep in mind. And if you just take the time to get a few pieces of gear, then you're gonna make this farming just a whole lot easier. I was kind of in a rush to make these videos because I really want to get this guide out there, because I guess you can say I like the helping people in that aspect. You know, the faster this gets out there, the faster everybody's going to be complimenting me and praising me, and who doesn't like compliments and praise? So it's one of those things where I just want to get the guide out there. I've been working on it for, a month and a half, pretty much non-stop every day. I've typed up hundreds of pages on my website for it. This is probably in the like 60s or 70s of videos that I've made for it. So there's a lot of stuff that I've been working on to make everything as accurate and as explanative as I don't even know if that's a word, but it sounds like a word. It sounds like an official word. It makes me sound smart. But I just want to make it as best as I possibly can. I want to pretty much like to make it so easy to understand that anybody in the whole entire world can understand it. And just it's pretty much gonna work no matter what. I can't pat myself on the back anymore for making this guide, because I made it so easy and so just everybody's gonna be able to use it, and everybody's gonna be able to do this. So it's gonna be great. There's gonna be a bunch of rich people on every server now thanks to me. And then there's also gonna be a lot of naysayers that say this guide doesn't work. So if you actually don't jump to the conclusion that it doesn't work, you actually look at my proof on the website that I made 10,500 gold in 50 minutes, and that's without even farming at the same time. That was just sitting there watching the auction house. If you actually believe my guide, and you actually use my guide, and don't just immediately say that it doesn't work and just, jump on to the next bandwagon of making fun of stuff in this game, if you actually believe it and use it, you're going to see that it works, and you're going to be rich, and then you're going to be laughing at everybody that says it doesn't work, just like I am. I've already had people tell me when I've told them, yeah, I'm working on a 10k an hour guide, and they're like, LOL, you're an idiot. There's no way you did that. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, fine, dude. I have the proof on my website. I mean, you can look at it in a few days when I finish it, which actually I'm going to be finishing the guide today. But people have already jumped to the conclusion that it doesn't work. So, I can't wait to see all the hate posts that I get and all the hateful comments that I get, especially on the introduction video about how it doesn't work. And people were saying that it's going to be impossible to make that much gold. Which, hey, I mean, more people that think it's impossible, that means the less people that are going to be cutting in on your business when you actually do this guide and it actually does work for you. So there's nothing you can complain about. And as I mentioned time and time again, all the proof is on my website. So if the person's too lazy to go to the website in order to look at all of the proof, it's their loss. But back to pretty much being on topic here. As you can see, Utgard Pinnacle is quite easy. I'm not having much difficulty on my Warlock, breezing through here. It is pretty easy as a Warlock anyway. You kind of just dot everything up and then just, drop a Fear Bomb if stuff gets out of hand. Now, you can't always fear the mobs here because a lot of them are undead, so they're immune to fear, which that's something you'll want to keep in mind while farming here. It can get a little hairy. I mean, only Warlocks would have to worry about that for the most part. Classes with a lot of good AoE. Now, here's the thing. A lot of good AoE is probably, this is one of the few instances where you won't be using AoE for the most part. Because, the mobs are not really jam-packed together. Like in Botanica and Lower Blackrock Spire, you can get, packs of, you can run into a, excuse me, hiccup burp at the same time. I was deceived. But, you're going to be getting, there's little mini packs of mobs all around in Utgard Pinnacle. There's no real big room with 10 packs that you can pull like there is in LBRS or Botanica. I mean, there is towards the end. There's a room with a 4-pack, a Wandering Pack of 2, and a 3-pack. That's pretty much the biggest room you're going to get. And if you pull that whole entire room, you're dead. Unless you're like a Blood Death Knight or some class with just an insane, ridiculous, retarded amount of self-healing. Then, you might be able to pull it off. But it's still going to be a little bit hairy. I mean, a year from now when another arena season is out, another whole new patch is out with another whole new set of epic gear, it'll probably be 400 times easier. But that doesn't hold true right now. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, as you noticed, I skipped the first boss, and I'm also going to be skipping this boss. Neither of these bosses are worth doing because they take too long. The first boss, you got to sit through a cinematic. This boss, you got to channel this little thing and kill these 2 avatars, which don't even drop loot in the first place. And then you'll be able to kill the boss who drops a crappy green item that you'll be able to sell to the vendor for 5 gold. It's better to just bypass them and continue on with the instance. Now, another good thing about this instance is if you have skinning, you'll be able to skin these wargs, which you'll be able to sell the Borean leather on the auction house for a decent amount. And if you have a character that's a leather worker, you can make the Borean leather into heavy Borean leather, and then you can sell that on the auction house instead, which I'm pretty sure that sells for a little bit more. In addition, if you have skinning, you'll also be able to get Arctic furs, which you'll be able to sell on the auction house for about 40 to 45 gold each, maybe sometimes 50 gold, and sometimes it even drops down to 33 gold. I really don't argue with the prices too much because I just certain crap like that. I just want to unload it as fast as possible. As I've used in the other videos, the metaphor about your inventory being a train station, you want things coming and going as much as possible. You don't want anything just taking up a lot of space, because it's very important that things don't take up a lot of space. Because if things start to if your inventory starts getting cluttered and items are starting to take up a lot of space, you're just going to be losing money because your whole entire inventory is going to be full, your mailbox is going to be full, and it's just it becomes a mess. So it's better to just sell things for the a medium price. Don't ask the most for them, depending on the item. Like I've mentioned in the previous videos, all of that information is on my website. The certain items that you should sometimes undercut, certain items that you should never ever undercut, certain items that if you have too many you should kind of stop buying them out, certain items that you should never stop buying out. All of that information is on my website. I can't stress to you enough how important it is that you visit the website and read the guide that I have written there instead of just listening to all of these videos, because my website has so much more information than what I can give to you in the short time that these videos take. And as I've mentioned in the previous videos, to get to my website, just visit the link in the description of this video, and it'll take you directly to the most relevant page for that video on my website. So, keeping that in mind, read my website, use my website. It has tons of guides, not even just for this. It has tons of guides for the whole entire game. A few of my guides are out of date. The leveling guides, especially at this time, they're out of date, and I don't know when I'm going to get around to updating them. But the PvP guides are also out of date, which I plan to update sometime soon. And then there's just, farming guides. There's reputation guides. Some of them are out of date. Instance guides. Some of them are out of date. I'm going to be updating all of this, since they changed everything with Kata. I'm kind of overworked. I also got to start writing my next book. Immediately after finishing this guide, I'm probably going to start my next book tomorrow. Little to no downtime in between each thing. But, I'm a busy person. I like keeping myself busy. I like always having a project at hand. So, I'll be updating my website. You can get a bunch of guides off of there. And as far as that goes, continuing with the explanation of this instance, as I've mentioned in previous videos, when it comes to farming, I don't actually I don't include my what was I going to say? I don't include the vendor trash in the totals on my website because I was too lazy to add the vendor trash up because it would take like 5 minutes to do, and I'm an extremely lazy person. So I didn't even feel like adding that up, which means you're going to be always getting more. You're going to be always getting more loot than what I would be getting when running these instances, which you can't really complain about that. Or rather, you'll be getting more money. Of course, you'll be getting more, pretty much the same amount of loot, but you'll be making more money. Another thing that I mentioned in these videos is, unlike the level 70 and the level 60 farming places, you want to still disenchant the green items, but you don't want to disenchant the green weapons, because the green weapons will disenchant into greater cosmic essences, which don't really sell well. I mean, they'll sell for about 10 gold each if you can get them to sell. But like, look at this mace. That mace vendors for 10 gold, and there's a chance it can proc into 2, but it's kind of rare, and it's not something you should put your money on in the first place. And then, I mean, of course, there's a chance you can get infinite dust from it, which is where you'll make a lot of the money from. But it's one of those things where you're better off just vendoring it. And also, you can see I just looted a BOE blue. That's another thing that you just want to vendor. I mean, it doesn't really sell. Nobody really cares about it. So, but I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna restart. I'm gonna start another video right now. So, yeah, I'm gonna transition into that.